Lilia Waters as May.
It's so stupid. Okay, cool.
The hallway scenes are my favorite.
Yeah. The seeing those,
Yeah.
they're so good. Well, so the first time we went, it was, what was the location again?
Christchurch.
The Christchurch.
Mm-hmm.
We got into this hallway. We had the fog machine running to add some nice defeat into the scene.
Yeah.
And we kind of forgot that smoke alarms were a thing.
Yeah.
So we kind of set them off.
This entire movie was filmed with practical effects.
Yes.
Everything's practical. There's not a single 3D animated thing. Nothing is CG.
We did not have the budget for that.
No, I don't have the computer processing for that.
That too.
Yeah, so
So
everything's practical. That hallway needed to have alarms in it.
it did.
So we mounted these halogen alarm lights that are supposed to be on like aircraft carriers to the sides of tripods and stuck them out of walls so it looked real, but in reality those alarms aren't attached to walls at all. It's an optical illusion.
It looks so seamless.
It looked
When you watch
seamless.
it back.
I remember when we set it up, I'm like, this is gonna look really cheap
Yeah.
and way too indie. But then we played it back, and for anyone who doesn't know, it looks perfect. Put them up. Put them up. So, the interrogation scenes were the most challenging for my actress. They were the easiest to shoot for me. I can confidently say I did almost nothing for those scenes to make them good. That was all Michaela.
It's really hard to just, cry on cue and try to get all those tears coming out and sobbing and stuff. But it was helpful with my acting coach, of course, and having my mom there on set.
I remember being on set behind the camera and just they were hard to watch sometimes.
They were, because the AI is scary.
It's intense. It's like that little voice in your head you
Yeah.
don't want to listen to.
Exactly. And the little girl's crying,
Yeah.
and all you want to do is help the poor thing, but she's
Yeah.
being tortured on purpose for the experiment. Those were 5-minute takes
Yeah, the long
of literal psychological torment.
Mm-hmm.
So Michaela had to go from either just okay to terrible, or from kind of angry, pissed off-ish in the second interrogation room scene to super, super sad and just freaking out when everything goes wrong.
My camera has a name thanks to this production now.
Yeah.
Because while we were doing, there's this long handheld shot we had when Lilia goes into her nightmare, where she goes from the stage off, walks into the audience, and during the handoff, Eric passed the Sony to me, and he said, "Here's Mr. Jingles."
Mr. Jingles.
Mr. Jingles. And you could hear it when we played it back. You could hear that.
Here comes Mr. Jingles. Okay.
So now my camera's called Mr. Jingles.
Yeah.
From the Green Mile.
Yeah.
My brother's friend Abby, she choreographed the dance, and it was so cool since it was completely created by kids. My brother created the music, I performed the dance, and Abby choreographed it.
That took a couple takes because
It did.
it was, again, we didn't have a gimbal, so nothing was stabilized.
And we were shooting wide open at f1.2.
Yeah, so keeping focus as
Focus.
much as possible
Yeah.
was a challenge. And having to match Michaela go down and fall onto a whole different platform, that sucked. That sucked.
It was tough, but those shots are great. And the shot of Anthony's hand with the goop.
Ooh,
I think that and like a
that's the best shot.
that's the shot I'm most proud of. Because when I stood there and I saw it on the little monitor, I'm like, that's gonna look.
When your camera was at like 5%
Yeah.
that day.
I was freaking out
To get that shot.
for multiple reasons, but that was the biggest one.
Yeah.
Where it was at like 8%, 7%, 6%. Guys, we need to get this last shot. But
Yeah.
it was just seeing
And just pouring it all over his hand. And it was just
Yeah.
drippy and
the nice little glares we got off of it too. It was just, I love it. It's so good.
so cool.
One scene that I remember is when I have to shake my sister's hand, and my hand was completely like, we basically took the whole bowl of the goop and dumped it on my hand, and I shake my sister's hand. And the main thing was that it was a little bit cold. It was a little bit chilly because we got to store it in a fridge, and so when it would like go on, it'd be like, oof, and it'd be kind of cold. And like mid scene, I would just feel it slowly start dripping down, and I'd be like, it would kind of distract me, but it was cool. Definitely worth a shot.
Empty Spaces, if you didn't know or didn't notice, is a direct copy from Stranger Things. With 11 in, I think it's just called, is it just called The Void?
I think it is just the void.
Because there's the scenes with 11, how she walks across water to different places after she like listens to white noise, or she floats on water.
Yeah.
And then I had to figure out how they made it and then recreate it at a much lower budget, which we did.
It was really fun to shoot with the water and reflecting everything off of it. Like just very visually interesting.
And we used the Sony camera because of its super good ISO based.
Yeah.
So the low
Second.
light looks awesome.
12,800 ISO as a
As a
second.
base.
That's insane.
It's just stupid.
was just a little difficult trying to keep all that water inside and all of that. And it felt so weird sloshing in the water with the wet socks. It was, my toes all wrinkly. It felt super weird.
I think another thing that was so special about this whole thing is that, you know, I got to integrate my piano playing ability with like my sister's dancing ability, with her acting ability, with my brother's directing, with his writing. I mean, just putting all of our family's things that we can do, you know, putting it together, it made it so beautiful. I mean, along with my friends that helped. I mean, I also had my mom who was doing all the makeup and everything, and then I had my friends who were choreographing the dance, and again, just putting it all together made it such a special moment.